Looking at my data visualization, I'm a bit displeased with some of the aliasing that's occurring between the bars. For example, take a look at the space between the first and second bar. There's this sort of fuzziness, but then between the second and third bar, it's nice and crisp. As well, I'm not really satisfied with the color of the bars. I'd like to change them. Well, let's look at the code. Because I gave these bars a class of bar, I can now affect them with CSS, and that's really the most efficient and proper way to do this. So I'll head to main.css, and at the bottom, create a new line, and because it's a class, I'll type dot, and then the name of the class, bar. Then open and close curly brackets. Now, I'll change the fill color to purple. Save that and go to the web page, refresh, and now the bars are magically purple. But how do I solve this aliasing issue? There's a few ways to do this. I'm going to do the quickest and easiest way. Head back to CSS. Here, I'll use the shape rendering property and set that to crisp edges. Save that and refresh. And now I've got nice crisp edges between the bars. Now there's one more thing I'll cover here, and that is the way in which we class elements. So let me go back to index.html. And right now, we're manually setting the class attribute to bar. The problem is that if we wanted to add another class, and let's say we just copied this line and pasted it, and we gave it the name foo. Save that and refresh, and now you see the colors have disappeared. Well, let's inspect the element. So in the developer console, head to the Elements tab, click the magnifying glass, click one of the bars, and you see that the class foo is there but not bar. Why is that? Well, looking at the code, what happens is when you manually set the class element, if you set it again, it'll wipe out the previous value, and that's no good. So instead, there's a different way we can do this so that the classes are swapped in and out dynamically. We type .classed, and then the name of the class we want to apply. The second argument is true or false. If it's true, it'll add that class name. If it's false, it'll remove that class name. So I'm going to get rid of the adder class line and just leave classed bar. Save that, refresh. Perfect. Go back. Let me copy the line, paste it, and set it to foo. Save that, refresh. And now you can see that foo has been added as a class in addition to bar. And let me get rid of that because we don't need that. So you can use CSS to style your elements rather simply, and to flexibly style them and add classes, you'll want to use the classed function. Now, one downside to the classed function is that you need to remember to set true or false as the second argument. I can tell you that often when I code, I forget to do this, refresh, and then it breaks. If I check the console, undefined is not a function. That's because I forgot to set this second argument. And also, sometimes I accidentally put punctuation at the end because it seems like I should, but I'll leave that out. So use classed instead of adder with the class attribute for the most flexibility in assigning styles to your elements.